Hey guys, good morning. So after my video where I talked about my first day of my internship, I felt like it was just common courtesy for me to show you guys how you guys can get an internship too. So in this video, I'm gonna outline what an internship is, the basics that you need to know, and then at the end also my tips and tricks on how I got my internship. In the case that you have watched the General Guide for Housing in Rotterdam, then you know that these general guides, they get pretty detailed, so brace yourself. Alright, so what is an internship? Usually, internships are supposed to complement your studies and your education, which is why university usually try to fit in an internship in the course so that you can have a little bit of practical experience based on what you are learning. In the Netherlands, an internship is called a stage. You might read it and say that's the word stage, but well, that's how languages work. To kick off this video, I thought I should probably let you guys know that in the case that you're looking for an internship, it's really up to you to look for an internship. I feel like a lot of people sometimes go into the phase of looking for internships feeling like, a couple of companies might find you because clearly you have a good skill set. But honestly, the people who are recruiting are also looking for the ones who have the initiative to go after certain things and to really put that extra mile into getting the internship. I think it's unrealistic to think that you can just sit back, relax, grab yourself a beverage, and then get yourself some mad cash money from an internship. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. And hopefully, with the tips that I will be telling you today, you will get that internship. And maybe also that mad cash money. We'll see. We will see. Okay, so first of all, why would you get an internship? Usually it's because you want to gain more experience or it's part of your curriculum at a university course. On top of that, if you get an internship, that means you have infiltrated yourself into that company, which means that if there is a position for a regular job anytime soon, they know you. They know your work ethic, they know what you can do. It really shows the job market in general that you know what you're doing and you know what direction you want to go into. So overall, internships are really good to kick off your career. So clearly having an internship in your CV is always absolutely golden. You want that. It's an extra little sizzle that will get people's attention. And so having an internship in the field that you want to go into written in your CV just makes you a more hireable person because they know that you've had experience in that field. And of course, another reason why you might be doing an internship is because of the financial benefits. You might hear that a lot of companies, they employ interns because they're like low pay and they do the job, and so they can kind of get away with really cheap labor compared to the jobs that they're doing. But at the same time, there are some really good internship positions that really help you financially. They look at all the costs that you might be incurring, like for example, transportation cost. So those were the main reasons why people usually get internships. But now we also have to consider, what can you expect at an internship? You can't just go signing on contracts saying, yep, I would like to be an intern without knowing what it is. And so what can you expect at an internship? Internships are all very different. And so the type of internship that you follow might really depend on the company that you are working in. There are a few companies who use their interns to do very systematic and small, tedious and boring work, like for example, filing the same couple of documents over and over again for like half a year. And that happens sometimes. I've known people who went to internships, were put into a little corner and told to do the exact same thing for a couple of months. But then you also have internships that are extremely dynamic and actually try to help you build on your skills and to figure out if you like the things that you're doing. But anyways, in both cases, you would still probably have on-the-job training, which means that they give you training for the specific tasks that you would be doing. And usually that includes things like how to work PowerPoint or Word or Excel. So as you may know from my previous videos, I'm currently in the Netherlands and I'm also doing an internship here. A lot of Dutch companies do ask you to speak a little bit of Dutch, which of course is kind of counterintuitive because they do want a lot of international students, but at the same time, they ask you to also speak Dutch, which might be hard if you are an international person and you come from a different country. But from my experience, speaking Dutch is not only extremely helpful for the job itself, really being able to read the documents and being able to follow tasks, but also the social aspect of it. As you may expect, A lot of companies in the Netherlands just have a lot of Dutch employees, which is obviously expected. This is why I recommend whenever you move to a new country that you really just start trying to learn a few words right in the beginning, since it is extremely likely that companies will require you to speak the language that is spoken within the country. That is what you can usually expect in internships with regards to the language that is spoken, but it is for sure not all internships that require that. So it's really a matter of searching and looking and searching a little bit more. And another thing you might be wondering is, are internships in the Netherlands paid? Will I be getting that cash money that Milena referred to before? Will that be the case? Well, in the Netherlands, employers are not required or obliged to pay a salary to interns, which, yeah, that's not great to hear, right? But even though these companies aren't obliged to pay a salary, they usually compensate the intern with around 100 to 500 euros a month. Really depends on the size of the company and what job you are doing, but that is usually the range that they stay within. And so now you know what an internship is and what you can expect, but you're also probably wondering how an internship is like from the perspective of an intern. And I can only speak from my experience, which is why I can only tell you how internships are in the Netherlands. And so if you're planning on doing an internship in the Netherlands, then you should probably expect an environment where people want to chit chat, they want to get to know you. And in my experience with Dutch working culture, I would say that it is quite informal. Like, it isn't as businessy and strict as a lot of companies that I've worked in before, but at the same time, they really do get the work done. From what I have seen, interns usually get a lot of support from the people that they're working for. So usually interns are paired with like managers or superiors who have had more experience within the company. At the same time, while you are an intern, it is very likely that there are other interns in different departments, which means that you can all kind of help each other out, you know? Right now in my internship, I've met most of the interns from the different departments, and honestly, I find it so great to be able to talk to people who are quite literally in the exact situation as I am and are still trying to manage the first couple of weeks of work. And it's just really nice knowing that you're not alone in a pretty big company. Another thing you might be wondering are the working hours. You know, how long are the working hours, and also the duration of the internship. Is it a few months? Is it a few years, decades, millennia? That would be one long internship. Alright, so in the Netherlands, internships really vary in working hours. You might be working a few days in a week or a full week, and it again really depends on the company, what job you're doing, and obviously for what intention. But from my experience, internships are usually a full-time thing, and you work as if you are a regular employee. And this is why internships are usually hard to do when you're a full-time student in the Netherlands, because genuinely it's just not possible to follow a full-time study while doing a full-time work week. It's just not doable. So the minimum length of an internship is, I'd say, like 3 months, and the maximum would be a year. But on average, an internship is usually around 6 months long, so half a year. Non-European citizens might need a working permit to get an internship, unless you're a student and you have like a student visa. In that case, that usually does tick the requirement for you to be able to do an internship. In the Netherlands, and able to get any job, you need to have health insurance. So if you are coming to the Netherlands searching for an internship, then make sure that you get your health insurance as soon as possible so that you can be employed. Alright, so we have now outlined the basics, and we will move on to the next part of this video. But I also wanted to let you guys know that you should apply to internships or to positions even though you're not 100% meeting the requirements. Because let's say they ask for someone who can work every single day of the week, but you can only work 4 days. Then if you apply and you explain your situation, if you're someone who is extremely fit for the position, they might reconsider their requirements and take you on even though you didn't initially tick all their boxes. I mean, just go for it. Honestly, what's the worst thing that could happen? And now we have gotten to the part of the video where I will tell you how to find and apply to internships. So when you're starting to look for an internship, you should start as soon as possible. I literally signed my contract a year ago because I just wanted to make sure that I had something set. But before you start your search, you should list out the criterias for an ideal internship. That might be things like working hours or benefits or even the things that you would be learning. But you really have to figure out what you want out of the internship other than just, general experience, which at the same time, honestly, great. Just getting general experience is great either way, but if you're able to pinpoint exactly what you want to learn, then you're more likely to find something that fits you and what you want. And next step, you really want to put yourself out there. And with that, I don't only mean, writing your CVs and applying for things, but also get in touch with companies beforehand. If you go to events that a company will be attending, then you might be lucky and run into a headhunter or someone who works in recruitment and maybe get to know them a little bit. For me, for example, I ran into a lot of people who were recruiters during my time at university, and now I have their numbers, and in the case that I am looking for something at one point, I might just send them a message. And now you're ready to apply for a few internship positions. And I recommend the following websites. I really recommend Indeed because it really does give you an overview of all the different types of internships that are available at the time. If you know that you want to work at a specific company, then I recommend you to just go to their website where they usually have a recruitment or a talent platform where they post all their job offers and internship positions. So that's somewhere I really recommend you to look if you already know in which direction you want to go. As a student, you may also find that student associations are good places to find internships. If your student association is in a partnership with a company, then on their website you might find some open internship positions that they are looking for. And lastly, you can always go to LinkedIn, which again has a lot of options and really lists out different companies of different sizes. And since you can specify what your abilities are and what you're looking for, you're more likely to find something or an internship more specifically that is tailor-made for what you are looking for. All right, we are almost there. You're basically employed. Basically. So once you start doing your application, you should make sure that all the CVs that you send are tailored to the company and for the position that you are applying to. I recommend you to go to the page where they posted about the position and really look at the words that they're looking for. They're looking for someone who is ambitious and hardworking, or someone with vast experience in the field. In that case, make sure that the things that are listed in your CV are specifically targeting these things that they're looking for, because then it also shows them that you are extremely well fit for the position. And in some cases, you might be asked to submit a motivation letter, and for that, I recommend you go check out my video where I talk about writing a motivation letter, and hopefully that one helps you guys out. But again, let me know in the comments below if you have any other questions. Alright, so that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope that this really outlined everything you need to know. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to see any more general guides, because I'm genuinely enjoying making these. Anyways, I hope to see you guys next time, but till then, take care. Bye guys!